Alright, this is my full battery life test of the Garmin Venu 4, both sizes, the smaller 41 and the bigger 45mm version. I started both watches side by side at 12:30 p.m. and I kept tracking every hour, every workout, every night of sleep and every single drop of battery to see how far each version can really go on a full charge. Now, before we get into the results, here's the setup. Both watches were fully charged to 100%, the always on display mode was enabled, brightness was set to maximum, and I received about 50 notifications per day. Continuous heart rate monitoring was on, SpO2 tracking was enabled all the time, not just at night, and all of the usual Garmin health tracking features were active. So this is definitely a heavy real-world test, not a standby scenario. So let's start with the smaller version. The test started at 12:30 p.m. right at 100%. After the first 12 hours by midnight, the battery was down to 90%. After 24 hours, including about 5.5 hours of sleep, it dropped to 82%. That's a very strong first day considering the always on screen and continued SpO2 tracking. After 36 hours, which included a 1-hour GPS workout, the 41mm model was at 68%. The impact of the GPS session was clear. The drain nearly doubled compared to passive daytime use. At 48 hours, after another almost 7 hours of sleep, the battery showed 60% remaining. So after 2 full days, 2 nights of sleep and 1 GPS workout, the smaller model was still at more than half. After 72 hours, including another 7 hours of sleep and a 45-minute GPS workout, the battery was down to 33%. That's 3 days of real use with 2 workouts and 3 nights of sleep. Still pretty solid for a compact watch. From there, I kept using it normally. After another 45-minute GPS workout, the small Venu 4 finally hit 0% after 113 hours total, which equals 4 days and 17 hours of continuous realistic usage. Now let's move on to the larger model, starting at the same time. After the first 12 hours, the 45mm version dropped slightly to 93%. At 24 hours, after the same 5 hours and 30 minutes of sleep, it was at 88%. That's noticeably better than the smaller model, already showing the effect of the larger battery. After 36 hours with a 1-hour GPS workout, it dropped to 78%. At 48 hours, including a 6 hours and 50 minutes of sleep, the watch showed 72%. After 72 hours with another 45-minute GPS workout and 7 hours of sleep, the 45mm still had 56% remaining. After 76 hours, it went down to 50%. And after adding another 1-hour GPS workout, the battery continued draining gradually until it finally reached 0 after 141 hours total. That's 5 days and 21 hours of the same heavy usage. By the way, if you liked the video up until now, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. You will also find a link to the smartwatch down below in the description. So the difference between the two sizes is pretty clear. The 45mm version lasted about 1 full day longer than the 41mm. Both handle continuous heart rate, full-time SpO2 tracking, sleep monitoring and notifications very efficiently. On average, each GPS workout consumed around 4 to 5% per hour, while sleep tracking overnight drained roughly 6 to 8%. During the daytime standby, even with the always on display at maximum brightness, the hourly drain stayed around 0.6% per hour, which is actually quite efficient for the screen setting. Overall, the battery curve was very consistent. Both watches discharged gradually without any random drops, and GPS tracking had a very predictable impact on the endurance. So the new Garmin heart rate sensor and sleep tracking algorithms are really well optimized. Even with SpO2 running continuously, both watches tracked HRV, respiration, and stress overnight without overheating or spiking battery drain. GPS performance was also reliable. For 1-hour outdoor runs, the smaller 41mm model typically used about 5%, while the bigger one consumed close to 4%. Over multiple days and workouts, the small difference adds up to almost 1 full extra day of battery life for the larger model. So after nearly a week of testing both versions side by side, here's the bottom line. The small Garmin Venu 4 lasted about 4 days and 17 hours, while the larger Garmin Venu 4 made it to 5 days and 21 hours under the same heavy conditions, with always on display at full brightness, continuous SpO2, and around 50 daily notifications. Both results are impressive and very realistic for everyday use. If you prefer a lighter and smaller feel, the 41mm version will easily get you through 4 full days with room to spare. But if you want maximum endurance for travel, training, or just fewer charges during the week, the 45mm model clearly goes the distance, roughly 1 day longer while maintaining the same performance and tracking accuracy. And guys, that's already it for today, so I guess I will see you in the next one. Peace.